The electric vehicle era is driving individuals as well as governments crazy. The majority of the countries are stepping forward to revolutionize the automobile industry from traditional gasoline cars to EVs. This drastic change will help the country to develop, transform itself into a green alternative, and significantly save a lot by minimizing the use of fossil fuels. Saudi Arabia is also one of the nations fostering the adoption of EVs. Public Investment Funds, or PIF, of Saudi Arabia has shown a lot of curiosity in EVs for a few years now. The investment portfolio for Saudi Arabia in the last few years was full of ups and downs. In some investments, PIF earned fortunes, but in some, they stepped back before the gold rush. Hey tech lovers, welcome back to Emotion, where we deliver the latest and exciting news for the technological world. Before we dive in to know more about PIF's mistake, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you regularly contemporize your knowledge about the exciting information and updates linking to technology that is uploaded on Emotion. That said, now let's crunch some investments made by PIF. Saudi Arabia was so excited about the investments in the EV domain. Thus, it was prominent for PIF to invest in an EV leader, Tesla. Back in 2018, when EVs were newly established, Saudi Arabia PIF purchased a minority stake of 5% in Tesla. In that moment, Tesla CEO Elon Musk was having a view of taking Tesla as a private entity. Elon officially conveyed his opinion on Twitter and to other board of directors considering taking the company private. This was the major attraction for Saudi Arabia PIF to invest in Tesla. Because of this information, PIF added a cluster of Tesla shares valued at $300 per share. However, some reasons resulted in Elon dropping the plan of taking Tesla private. Although the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia managed to stake up in Tesla and even increase the number of Tesla shares in its portfolio, finally the PIF portfolio had around 8.2 million shares until the fourth quarter of 2019. Later in 2019, with some analysis and reasoning, Saudi Arabia PIF dumped approximately all the shares owned by them. This was a huge mistake by PIF as they just stepped back before the gold rush of Tesla shares. According to the reports of CNBC, PIF sold almost all the investments during the fourth quarter of 2019. A CNBC report stated the fund now holds about 39,000 shares of the stock after selling 99.5% of its holding last year, according to InsiderScore.com and public filings. The fund held more than 8.2 million shares by the end of the third quarter of 2019, according to filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Just after the sales by PIF, Tesla shares shot up to its prices like never before. On Monday, PIF sold their investments. Surprisingly, on Tuesday, their investment would be worth more than a massive $7.3 billion. But unknowingly, the Public Interest Fund of Saudi Arabia missed the golden opportunity of Tesla's enormous rally in 2020. Tesla shares almost soared 13% to about $887, which would eventually gain more than 110% in 2020. Missing out on the windfall of Tesla shares doesn't mean Saudis will shed tears and will not invest additionally in any of the stocks. Saudi Arabia's premier investing institution covered all of those missed gains by investing amazingly in California electric vehicle manufacturer Lucid Motors. In 2018, Lucid was in huge need of investments as it was on the verge of bankruptcy. At that moment, PIF held the hands of Lucid Motors and invested around $1 billion into Lucid at the cost of a good amount of stake in the company. Saudi Arabia's PIF acknowledged the potential in Lucid is incredible, and one day this firm will nourish a multi-billion-dollar proliferation to their portfolio's value. The day has already arrived, and theretofore, the Californian company is elevating profits for the fund. 2018 was just the commencement for Lucid in the luxury EV domain. But in all these years, after Lucid's successful launch of its flagship Air sedan model, PIF's stake is worth much more than before. If you're interested in other fascinating things about Tesla, then make sure to check out our videos on Lucid Motors' shocking successes and Lucid Motors' confirmed first deliveries. You can go check this out after the video. Even after Lucid merged with a Special Purpose Acquisition Company, or SPAC, which is a company that's specially designed to get an initial public offering, or IPO, and a valuation on a stock market, PIF remained the majority investor in the new setup. At the time of valuation, SPAC asked PIF to provide them with a detailed breakdown of the value of its investments, but PIF refused to reveal it. According to SPAC, the lump sum value of PIF and Lucid will be somewhere between $15 billion, which will be worth more than after Lucid starts selling its cars. Some of the sources said Arabia's Public Investment Fund, or PIF, owned more than 50% of the Lucid Motors shares. One of the columns in Financial Times reported the biggest winner in Lucid's largest current shareholder, Saudi Arabia's PIF. These two statements explain it all about PIF's investments that are now worth extraordinarily hefty in a very short span. PIF's choice of investment was perfect, and even their belief in Lucid was up to the mark. Lucid Dream Air Edition is a uniquely designed luxury EV that's different from all the range of EVs available in the market as of now. Rawlinson, at the launch of the Air model, he said, "We've got the technology that can cascade down to more affordable models for the man in the street. That's what's going to change the world." With an insane relation between PIF and Lucid, Lucid can get an industrial benefit like some incentives or tax benefits while constructing the production unit in Saudi Arabia. Previously, there was speculation of Rawlinson choosing Saudi Arabia as the first location for a manufacturing facility, and this has turned up true. The CEO and CTO of Lucid is thankful to PIF. He said, "They put their faith in us, that's why we're here today thriving." Lucid team and the Saudi government are already discussing constructing and opening a factory in the major stakeholder kingdom by 2025. Both the parties are now busy selecting the perfect location to build the factory. Currently, 2 cities are shortlisted for the new factory. The first one is located near King Abdullah Economic City, founded in 2005, and is on the coast of the Red Sea, approximately 60 miles north of Jeddah. This location is an attractive one as the post-abiding location is a part of the maritime Silk Road, which ranges from the shore of China via the Mediterranean to Central and Eastern Europe. Another location shortlisted by Lucid is Neom, a smart city that's built in the northwest corner of Saudi Arabia. The location was announced to be under the Saudi government in 2017. Now Neom is under Saudi's judicial system, labor laws, and tax system. This location will be considered for Lucid's first Middle Eastern production facility, which is again at the coasts of the Red Sea. However, Lucid said we'll have a lot more to say to the market about the sorts of things we're seeing in the supply chain. Yes, we're experiencing supply chain issues. There is some sort of supply chain issues, but it's expected that the company will look into it closely and can arrive at a reliable solution for it. So with this, you'll not have to deal with major issues to gear up with the installation of the new factory. And after a point, the location of a site doesn't matter as Lucid is still heavily backed up by the funding by PIF of Saudi Arabia. Apart from the expansion in Saudi Arabia, Lucid is constantly expanding and assembling new sites for a giant factory that's about 2.85 million square feet. This gigantic factory will have a massive production capacity that'll help it to reach out its goal of producing 90,000 air sedan units by 2023. The new locations will have a powertrain plant installed, a stamping plant, and a general assembly space. Apart from all these, there will also be other general-purpose buildings. Peter Rawlinson said, "We're quadrupling the size of that factory in Arizona. We're building out a 2.85 million square foot expansion to get ready to build 90,000 units per annum, and the site itself is with its Phase 3 capable of nearly 400,000 units per annum." The plan is immense, and with such a roadmap, it's evident that Lucid will bloom up and can even lead the EV market in the future. With this, Saudi Arabia will earn insanely when its stock climbs up the charts after they gear up in sales of Lucid Air sedans. What do you think about Lucid and PIF's relationship? Can Lucid expand exponentially and provide insane earnings to Saudi Arabia's PIF? Is Lucid Motors a growing threat to other players like Tesla? Let's know your views and opinions in the comments. That was all about it. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more such exciting content and the latest updates. See you in the next video.